Welcome to Rink Rookie, a girl's guide to the NHL. I am your co-host, Ashley.
And I'm your other co-host, Arielle, and welcome to our podcast.
Yay! So, Ariel, we're doing a check-in. How are you? What have you been up to?
Good. We will gladly skip a week because we were all very tired. There was just a lot happening. Good. I went to the Coyotes Fan Fest on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun.
Did that cost money? I can't remember.
No, it was free. It was like a limited ticketed event because they had it at this place called Main Event, which is like a Dave and Buster's kind of type joint. And they had limited tickets released. I was on top of that. And yeah, I got 2 tickets and me and my dad went. It was totally private. Like they shut down the whole Main Event and it was like literally just for that event.
Was there food?
That you could buy.
Oh, okay.
I had terrible pizza.
Oh, yeah, I've been to like a Dave and Buster's once, and it was actually pretty good. Like, I would go back again.
I would say Dave and Buster's food is better than Main Event.
Okay. The games are so expensive for stuff like that, though.
Oh, and we got a free like game card.
Oh,
For
okay.
like 3 hours. It was so fun.
So, do you get to hang out with the players then?
Yeah, it was fun. Like they got to do like they were doing signings, they were kind of doing some panels, like more like I guess official stuff. And then I guess the added bonus of having it there is they definitely just were walking around. So if you didn't get to get in the long ass line to get a signature, you could probably just walk around and bump into them and be like, "Hey, can I get this signed?" And they all did. Then they also were playing air hockey. They did laser tag and then bowling, which I spent most of my time bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
I was. I was on
I gotta
Saturday.
show off.
I was on Saturday. I think at one point I had 4 freaking 6 foot tall players just literally watching me play because they were impressed by my accuracy. And I was like, what is life right now? But I was like, hey, I'm playing a good game today. This never happens. It was great. It was fun.
You showed up when you needed to.
Yep.
It's amazing. That sounds so fun. I wish they would do something like that here, but I know they do Ducks Day at Disneyland. I should look into that.
That's fun. Thank you.
Yeah. I swear I've been there before when it's happened because I've seen like a bunch of people in their jerseys. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Oh, that's so fun. I figured because like I know a lot of teams like have like had their fan fest or whatever in like the preseason, but the Coyotes were gone for a majority of preseason and then are traveling. And I looked up, they haven't really done anything for like that for fans since like 2019. I feel like part of it has to do with like them not having a home, which I get, but I mean, they may do and like they're definitely I think it's a good idea to get them back into the community, especially
for sure.
Especially if you want to keep hockey here. And I think that was like a good sign that they're trying to stay.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, can you buy season tickets for them because the arena is just so small? Okay, it's interesting. I wonder if they're like a hot commodity or not.
I don't know. I joined some fan pages and it seems that a lot of people actually do. So I don't know.
Okay, that's promising then.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Nothing. Well, I had COVID, and then after I finally started testing negative, it was safe to leave the house. I think I saw a movie. I saw Killers of the Flower Moon, and then tonight we're gonna actually go to the LA Haunted Hayride. So that's about as far as my activities go in the last like 2 weeks now? Week.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting, but you'll be here next week.
I will.
We're gonna go see Sidney Crosby in person. I'm literally just like glowing excited about it. I can't be excited for literally anything else.
I can't believe that the fact that I'm traveling for hockey now. What is life?
Yeah.
But it's Sidney Crosby. Can you believe it's going to cost me less to go over there?
Yeah. I mean, tickets, I told you, they were like $50 for the Kings game and then like $40 for the Ducks game. So we're going to go to both. And yeah, parking's going to be, I guess, the most expensive probably part of it all. That's okay. I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun. We'll post videos and pictures.
Yes.
It'll be a good time.
All the warm-up videos. I'm so excited to just like plant myself in front of the glass and just like watch them.
I gotta make
skate on by. We're gonna make signs?
We should make signs. Yeah, we're making signs.
Okay.
We're gonna have a whole experience.
I am that person who does not like to draw attention to myself. So yeah.
They'll be tasteful.
Yeah. I just would like a puck that I don't have to pay for, because they have the commemorative pucks for each game day that you can buy for $20 in the game store, which are really cool. I got one for opening day for the Ducks, but I think the warm up pucks say it's official warm up puck.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
I think that's what they do. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do. And then it says who's playing on the puck. So they can't reuse it, which I find interesting. But I think they auction them off maybe, or put them up for sale somewhere. I don't know. I could be talking out my ass.
The way you said they can't reuse them. We'll talk briefly about pucks today, but I'm
Yeah.
do they get damaged? They probably do.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm just excited to go to the Penguins game. So before we get into this too deep, we do want to chat about the Adam Johnson situation. Unfortunately, he did pass away. I think it was Saturday night into Sunday for us. I'm in California. I know we were both kind of keeping an eye on it. He played for the Penguins for a couple games. I think also skated with the Ontario Reign, which is the subdivision of the LA Kings for a couple seasons. And then he was over in the UK with the EICHL, which is the English Ice Hockey Association, and took a skate to the neck in a wild, completely unavoidable accident. Skated off the ice and then went to the hospital and unfortunately passed away. So that kind of leads us to our topic for this episode, is safety in hockey and how that kind of came to be, as far as helmets and the padding and things that they go to make sure they're as safe as possible, and things like this don't happen, because this is definitely one of, I think, 4 skating accidents with the blade on the skate. It's not common. So Arielle, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, and I think just in general, everyone's expressing their condolences and their prayers and thoughts. And I think it goes without saying that Ashley and I both share those sentiments, especially finding out that a lot of friends and family of his were at the rink that night. So we just, we're definitely sending just another 2 voices sending our love and prayers their way. So we're just really sad for the hockey community, but it's been incredible during this time to see how, I guess, unfortunately, how amazing this community can be when they can come together. So yeah, I think it's just really unfortunate. He was so young.
And definitely our thoughts go out to the player of whose skate it was. I cannot imagine what he must be thinking. It's crazy. His name is Matt Petgrave. I did get a notification from ESPN today that they're investigating it. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we'll keep you guys updated through our social channels, if anything does change with that. I don't see how you can see it as anything other than accident, but I'm not the law. So
yeah, and then the Nottingham Panthers posted that if you were there and watched the events unfold, it was Saturday evening, and need additional support, they posted some text and call advice lines for, I guess, trauma. They separated them by under 25s, over 25s, and parents, and we retweeted it onto our Twitter. And I'll probably repost it onto our Instagram as well.
Definitely check those out if you need them. But honestly, I feel like if you've seen the video, and definitely be very careful around the internet right now. It's not very well hidden, unfortunately. Just kind of take care of yourself and be careful with the internet in these next coming days, because I feel like it's definitely out there and it shouldn't be, and that's kind of a bummer in this whole situation.
Yeah, it happens so fast, so just take care of yourselves and be careful.
Yes, please. All right, in other sad news, we got some injuries coming up. There's been a bunch of them going around. We're unclear if this is normal for the beginning of the season, but there's so many.
Oof, injuries, let's go. All right, so these, because we skipped a week, we're racking them up. Number 1 forward, Gabriel Velarde of the Winnipeg Jets is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks due to a sprained MCL in his right knee. Velarde was tripped by Kings player Blake Lizotte within the first 5 minutes of the first period and unfortunately fell pretty awkwardly. Then we also have Robbie Fabry. I was like, I've only heard his name once, but I can't remember. Of the Detroit Red Wings, he's going to be out for 4 weeks because of a lower body injury, not related to last season's knee injury, which limited the forward to 28 games. And then we have Seattle Kraken forward Andrei Burakovsky. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with an upper body injury. He was injured after a hit from Rangers captain Jacob Trouba in Saturday's loss.
I have so much to say about that.
Trouba was giving a minor penalty for boarding on the play.
All of the players on that bench should have been penalized or something because they all like if you can, someone go find how to watch it. Maybe we'll see if we can post it somewhere. But I've seen like still shots of the bench, like basically attacking Yanni Gourde, who had his helmet fall off like mid fall. And thank God he didn't actually hit the ice because I cannot imagine like the outcome of that had happened. Do things like that have to happen before you get penalized? I cannot like the bench interfering with this whole play was just insane and nothing happened.
Yeah, that's insane. I'll talk more about it later, but I have my thoughts on how people need to be it's weird because it's a sport where obviously they're going to get hurt, they're going to get rough, but then at the same time when it comes to like the way they protect their teammates and stuff, I'll get into that later.
Okay, I just wanted to butt in on that because I had some thoughts. It made me really upset watching that. I guess I will continue on with
please.
Ariel's favorite, Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers was injured during last Saturday's game against the Winnipeg Jets. Injury occurred during the third period. He grabbed his left side while rushing up to the ice. McDavid, who had played 20 minutes and had 2 assists, did not play the final 4 minutes of the third period. He attempted a light skate before overtime but did not return to the game. He was meant to be out 2 weeks but went to the Heritage Classic last night. Edmonton Oilers won last night. Very suspicious he just suddenly was okay to play that game.
Have you seen the meme of like that wrestler who's like in a wheelchair with like his leg propped up, but then he like takes off like the jacket like off his leg and then he just stands up and like the cast was like a prop?
Same vibe.
They posted they showed because someone tweeted that and they're like Connor McDavid playing at the Heritage Classic today. And then they played the GIF and they showed that on TV before the game started. It was hilarious because I had the same thought. I was like, wait a minute, I thought he was going to be out. What happened?
Suddenly
playing
he's
perfectly
okay.
fine. He was like, I'm not missing this game.
I mean, they're not doing too great, so they need all the wins they can get is all I'm saying.
Good luck to them.
Yeah. And then Ariel's actual favorite, Nico Hischier, will not play for the Devils against the Minnesota Wild. I think it was yesterday because of an upper body injury. They won that game though last night, right?
Yes, but it was actually a few nights ago.
Why does it say Sunday? Anyway, so he was actually injured after taking a hit to the head from Buffalo Sabres defenseman Connor Clifton in the first period of a 5-4 win on Friday. Hischier played in the second period but did not play in the third. Clifton received a match penalty on the play and was suspended for 2 games by the NHL Department of Player Safety on Saturday.
This is where I have my quarrel with defending your teammates, especially your captain. And like now that I'm watching more captains play and more, you know, just the game more, I totally understand why some of these players hold grudges. It's kind of funny because it's literally only on the ice that they hold these grudges. But like only one player stood up for Nico and then he ended up getting 10 minutes for instigating. And I was like, why is he and then their coach Lindy Ruff was like, they asked them after the game and he said, yeah, like that's what we want. Like he should have done that. Like it's fine. Like he's okay to take that penalty. Like he wasn't even mad about it. So I was like, okay, so why was he the only one stepping up? Because all the players were like, yeah, that's great. Like we need someone to step up. I'm like, okay, but why was it not more of you guys stepping up to help your captain? Because he had been knocked down twice before in the first period. Like, come on now.
The same thing happened to the Kraken like a couple weeks ago where was it? I think it was Ty Cartier was the only one who stood up for, I can't remember who it was, but he was the only one and he's the rookie. He should not be the one defending.
And then McCann too, like the following, like a few games later. Like, why are your forwards the one?
Where are your defensemen?
Yeah, defensemen, I need you guys to defend.
Or Big Rig. I need him. He's the muscle. Why is he not up in this business of like defending your players?
Like, he's 7 foot on the ice. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
I have so many questions about what's going on in these guys' head. Like, this is your job. Why are we not like defending these men who are like getting hurt? Whatever.
Didn't I laugh because I was just like, I know Vince Dunn said that he doesn't want to be
the fighter.
He doesn't want to be the fighter anymore, but I need him to be for real and just fight a little bit because it's driving me nuts.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we got this one, Eric Brandstrom. I'm not sure if you watched it, but I did. It was kind of scary. He was stretchered off the ice during a game on Thursday night after an unexpected hit along the boards from Islanders forward Cal Clutterbuck, who outweighs him by almost 40 pounds. Brandstrom had just dumped the puck in, and Clutterbuck was backchecking hard, so he probably wasn't in Brandstrom's field of vision until the very last second, as the Islanders forward caught up to him just after releasing the puck. Brandstrom had no idea the hit was coming, and his upper body was briefly pinned hard against the boards, and his legs just went flying up with forward momentum, and he ended up hitting his head on the ice, like head first, and he kind of like got knocked out, and he was just like in a lot of pain. Yeah, he seemed to have like a seizure-like activity with like some shaking. I did find out that he kind of woke up almost immediately and was okay, but he was just in so much pain they had to get him to stop moving as soon as possible for, obviously like safety.
This one was also like a really tough to watch situation, unfortunately. So if you come across a video involving this, I would also be careful with.
Yeah, it was definitely scary to watch. I think the reality of like how dangerous this game could be. I mean, because you and I were talking this week. Like, I know all sports essentially have their risks, but this one being like the fastest and the most high contact sport, like it's definitely up there.
Knives on their feet,
I feel like hockey and like race car drivers, like that, those two.
Yeah.
Insane. If you thought we were done with injuries, we're not. Luke Shen of the Nashville Predators will be out 4 to 6 weeks due to a lower body injury. Shen's last game was a season opener on October 10th, so he's been out for a while. Kirby Dach is officially out with a torn ACL and MCL in his right knee. I'm really sad for him on that one. And I feel like we're missing some players that have been injured.
Definitely.
Because it's just absolutely insane. But the fact that we were able to say this many is just nuts.
And I guess this is obviously a question for us in the next season, I guess, like maybe comparing these lists to at that point next year. But it just feels like so many.
Especially only like 7 to 10 games in now.
Yeah. God, that's so many, and Kraken have only won 2.
Rip.
I'm fine. Okay, so no more injury news, but some good news was the Anaheim Ducks had 2 debuts on Thursday ahead of their game against Dallas. So Tristan Manu, 53rd overall pick in the 2020 NHL draft, and Leo Carlsson, the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft, also scored his first NHL goal in the 3rd period. That was really cool to watch. I feel like we're seeing a lot of like history being made. It'll be really cool to see where these guys are in 3-5 years.
Oh, I know. Awesome young talent. And I like that the Ducks newbies are called ducklings, or at least that's what the fans call them. And that's like my favorite thing. I'm like, we're calling this 6'3" player a duckling. I love it.
Was it you told me last night that was it Quinn Hughes's nickname is Huggy? Like,
yeah,
how cute is that?
He looks like the least, like, he doesn't even look like he likes hugs, and the fact that they call him Huggy is the best thing ever.
Doesn't even look like he likes. Speaking of Hughes, his brother Jack of the New Jersey Devils became the fastest player in franchise history to post 10 points in a campaign, besting John McLean with a 5-point goal average in 1988 and 89.
And as of today, he has 17 points.
Wow.
So far in the season. That's crazy.
Wish he was on my fantasy team. And then some other good news. The ban on Pride tape no longer exists.
That was short-lived.
And thanks to Arizona Coyotes player
Travis Dermott.
Yeah. He wore a little bit, like literally maybe like 2 or 3 inches on his stick.
I barely even noticed.
Yeah, this whole thing is just over now. Literally, just what was the whole point of it?
That's just so embarrassing. Like all that. For what?
Yeah. I guess what's frustrating to me in that whole situation is that he's not a big player. He has, a 1-year contract with the Coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on a couple other teams. He has so much to lose, and yet he is the one who, basically made it go away. He's not a Sidney Crosby. He's not a Connor McDavid, who, if they had done it, things would be totally different. It's just kind of crazy to see just this little guy speaking up, and everyone's like, yeah, he's right. I don't know. I really liked this whole story. Just unfortunately that it had to happen.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, it's done. Now they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah. Which they should have been able to do in the first place. The rules in the book say they can have any kind of tape. I don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't very well thought out.
No. I feel like, we're getting into this next one, which is Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators is suspended for 41 games for betting, but didn't bet on NHL games. So, that also makes no sense. I feel like I just have so many questions about
I read
these rules.
something about like someone using his account or something, and then that's why they came out like, okay, well, no sharing accounts, the fact that these guys can't, no jokes. You can't be funny, guys. No hanging out with your friends. No joking about
No
betting.
jokes. The
Because
no jokes kills me. What was
that one,
saying? What
I know. I
were
was
the
like,
rules?
you sent it to me,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, the rest makes sense. The no jokes one, why are we micromanaging like this?
it makes no sense. So things players to be warned about involving betting: don't share your account. Don't place bets with third parties. Prop bets will be treated as betting on games. Don't joke about odds with friends. Don't share inside/injury information, and don't bet illegally. And it's so funny to me that this is like a thing because the Ottawa Senators, who have suspended him for 41 games, well, they didn't, but the NHL did, have a betting ad on their helmets.
Most teams do.
That's literally insane to me. And the whole message from the NHL about this has been so vague. I just have so many questions.
I'm also just like I was telling, I was like, am I naive? Because I really don't understand. I didn't even know that betting was illegal like that. I'm exposing
Yeah,
myself there, but I just didn't know.
yeah, it never really occurred to me to like think about betting ever just because it's not something I ever really want to do.
Yeah,
I'll play the
same.
lottery, but I think that's just different.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God. The Frozen Frenzy though.
Yes, the Frozen Frenzy. Let's chat about that because that was a lot. You took notes.
I did. I had to my notebook's downstairs. I'm not gonna go get it. But yeah, I was taking notes. I think in that moment, I was like, I don't even need a diagnosis for ADHD. I feel like this is it right here with how I'm managing watching these. Because like at some point, I was watching like 2 games at a time. The only full game I did watch was the New Jersey Devils, and then I ended up going back to watch, I think, the Penguins, and then I think I ended up going back and watching in full 2 other games. I cannot remember. But at this moment, it's been a week. But yeah, I was taking notes and that was kind of helping me focus because I was just I don't know how to explain it. Like I was writing down like if someone was I don't know, like I can't explain it. Like it was helping me focus. I had to take notes and watch the game at the same time.
I mean, if it helps you, I mean, I totally get it. Yeah, helping you, I guess, maybe understand better when you're watching because you're like, okay, well, that just happened, so I can write it down. And then when you write something down, I feel like you remember it better. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah, because I was keeping track of like how some of the like I guess how like some of the checking was going. I don't think there was too many major penalties. There was just penalties everywhere. But like I feel like everyone, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2 teams, like everyone played really well that day. I watched like how many games were there? There were 16.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching 11.
Dang.
Yeah, it was hockey all day into the night.
The only one I fully watched was the Kraken game, but I did put it on when the first game first started just so I wouldn't like forget there was a bunch on. And then I kind of just like flitted between a bunch of them. And then I think eventually I put the Kraken game on my TV. And then I think I put the Penguins game on my laptop. Because I think just both of us are secretly like big Penguins fans. They're like second favorite team.
Yeah.
I
A
just like,
Penguins fan on low key.
yeah, I just need them to do better. What is happening?
I don't know. The last couple games, like
It makes me sad for them.
I don't know. Like I know the Mock and Smith defense. I really like how they work together, but then at the same time, I'm like, what? Everyone else, what's happening? And then at some point, I'm like, is Russ the only one playing today? Like, where's everyone? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening there.
Gotta get their shit together.
Like, do they need more bonding? Do they need like a golfing day? I don't know what you need. And I don't care at this point. Like, come on, guys, just get it together because they'll win 1 game and then like lose 2.
Yeah. At least you picked a winning team. The Devils are doing really good.
Yeah, but their captain is being beat to shit.
Yeah. I feel like he's got that Connor Bedard situation going on where everyone just kind of wants to take him out.
Pick
And
on
like,
him.
yeah, picking on him. And it's just like, hey, are you that threatened? Like, I just don't understand.
Also, too, I'm like Nico.
Yeah.
Hit back. Like, just take a penalty. Like, just start swinging. I don't even care anymore. Like, somebody do something.
Oh
He's
man.
too good.
He is. I guess it's a threatened thing, you know? You take the kid out and hopefully you don't have to deal with him anymore. Was it we both watched the Dallas Stars to the Stanley Cup like road journey or whatever? It's unlisted, unfortunately, so I don't know how anybody else can watch it. But they just have these meetings where they sit there and talk about the other team and like their weaknesses, and it's just kind of wild to like actually see like that happening.
To think about that, yeah, like they're in those meetings going, okay, who's here has played with anybody on this team? Like this goalie's like this goaltender is like really good, so we like these are his weaknesses that we're gonna like try and play around and
Give
like
us the tea.
it's so crazy. I'm like, oh my god, they really do stuff like this.
Like, of course that happens. Like, it's just weird to see.
Yeah.
I think the last little bit of news we have is Andrei Svechnikov is back with the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a really cute video that they posted about him being back. Everyone's very excited. And then Joe Thornton of the San Jose Sharks announced his retirement from the NHL on Saturday after 24 seasons.
That's crazy. 24.
How
What's
old
a
is
good
he?
I don't know. Hang on, let me look up. What's a good career?
He is 44. Wow.
Oh wow. Good for him.
Started in 97. That's
Oh my
wow.
As far as Swetchy, the fact that his first practice back, he took a puck to the face.
Poor guy needed stitches. What?
Like I'm like, oh yeah, he's back on the ice. Like he has no more no contact vest. And then and a couple hours later, I see photos and videos of him he's skating off the ice because he took a puck to the face. Okay, he's back, but he's covered up. And then turns out he needs stitches. I'm like, oh my god, don't break him. You just got him back.
His whole chin just like bloody. So bad.
Definitely excited to see him play because I've only seen videos of him and heard good things about him as a player. So
Yeah.
And then we started watching during playoffs and he was out, so we haven't gotten to really see him.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed he wasn't feeling good enough when I went and saw the Hurricanes play against the Ducks, but next time. Can we just talk about the Vegas Golden Knights losing their winning streak, and the Bruins and the Avalanche? There are no undefeated anymore. Everyone is on even playing ground, in my opinion.
That was so funny. Who did Vegas lose? The Blackhawks?
The Blackhawks. The Blackhawks and little Connor Bedard.
And the Bruins lost to the Ducks?
The Ducks? Yep. I don't remember the Avalanche. I think the Canes, maybe?
No, it was the Flyers.
Oh, it was the Flyers. Okay. Good times for me.
It all happened back to back to back too. And that was, I'm not gonna lie, I giggled.
I know the Blackhawks Vegas game went into OT. And then I think the Ducks Bruins game also went into OT.
And then the Avs just didn't score.
Yeah. That was crazy. The Avalanche not scoring at all. What happened?
I don't know.
Wait, was that the game that Cale got hurt?
Yeah, that was the Cale Makar he was injured. He wasn't out too long, but he was out for a few minutes, and then he eventually did come back to the ice. And then Nathan McKinnon was not happy about, because I guess there was no penalty called on that boarding or anything. And he was not happy about it and ended up taking a 10-minute penalty and a 2-minute. So he was off the ice. He was in the locker room for 12 minutes.
Well, that's how you defend your players, That's what you want to see.
But everyone else didn't, because they didn't even, were you guys not trying? At least get a score in. I always feel so bad when they can't even score one.
It makes me sad for them, because I like the Avalanche. I think they're really creeping up towards favorite team status.
They're fun to watch. And I know you've asked me, we're probably going to be coming up soon in a couple weeks, who we're going to predict to be at least in the playoffs, or who might even win the Stanley Cup. And with the way everyone's playing, I don't even know anymore right now. I
feel like just things from what we first did research into and were seeing at the beginning of preseason to now is just so not true. None of that information feels valid, because I feel like nothing is going according to what anyone thought.
It just goes to show how fast paced and unpredictable it all is.
It's overwhelming. The other day I was like, I don't want to watch hockey. I'm so hockeyed out. And I've done that to myself, obviously, but there's just so much. If there's not a game on, there's something happening behind the scenes, and it's just so hard to keep up. Obviously, that's kind of why we make this podcast, is to wrangle all of it into one place for your listening pleasure, under an hour, hopefully. I just feel like it's just so much. It gets a little overwhelming at times.
Okay, so we're going to get into the episode. I kind of looked into 3 different sources, just kind of picked at it, because with everything happening and all these player injuries that we're seeing, that we're not even sure is a normal amount at this point in the season. I was interested in learning a little bit more about the equipment, the safety equipment, and all that, basically PPE of the hockey world. So let's get into it. So according to the International Ice Hockey Federation, the first organized ice hockey game took place in Montreal in 1875. The players had rudimentary skates strapped to leather boots and wooden hockey sticks. And at the time, they played with a wooden puck. They donned heavy wool turtleneck sweaters, football pants, knee-high socks, and gloves to stay warm, and no other gear.
That's insane. No other gear with knives on their feet. But also, can we talk about those cowboy skates from the Heritage Classic? I don't know who it was, but someone was wearing cowboy boots with ice
With
skates on the
skates.
bottom.
I saw that too. I'm like, how does that even how do you even customize something like that? Like, that's
I
how?
don't know. But then
To
I've
be
seen,
comfortable.
yeah, I saw someone put Crocs on top of skates, and they couldn't skate in them because there's just not enough, like, I don't know, balance or something.
Support, yeah.
Yeah, but the cowboy boots looked like they worked, so.
As the game evolved and grew more popular, the players started to add the equipment that is so common nowadays. The first thing to show up was homemade shin guards that was constructed out of strips of leather and reinforced with wood, but that didn't appear until the 1880s. And not long after, goaltenders started strapping on cricket pads to protect them from flying pucks. I feel like the goaltenders were probably like the first to start adding on safety
I
because
was
they're
about
the
to
ones in
say,
front.
they're just, like, being attacked on all sides by everything, I swear. Like, poor goalies.
And by the turn of the century, the evolution of equipment started to speed up primarily due to innovations incorporated after player injuries. So, elbow pads came into existence due to broken elbows from falls. Gloves began to feature padding and reinforced wrist guards to protect players from flying pucks and falls. Knee high padded pants held up by suspenders came into fashion during these years, and a version of them is still in use today.
I would like to see the suspenders.
From like back in the day.
Yeah. So it actually took an infamous incident during the 1933 game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins for the idea of helmets to enter the scene. That was when one player, Ace Bailey, almost died after banging his head on the ice after being checked by Eddie Shore from behind. Bailey never played in the NHL again, and Shore wore a helmet for the rest of his career, something the NHL eventually mandated for all players in 1979. So 1933 to 1979, it just wasn't mandated. But it wasn't until 1959 when Montreal Canadiens goaltender Jacques Plante refused to return to the ice after catching a puck to the face during a game that the idea of the netminder wearing a protective mask started to happen. In the years following World War II, when hockey's popularity boomed with the advent of television, all of the gear in the NHL began to be brought under one set of standards. The use of new materials like plastics and fiberglass allowed the weight to be reduced, while new protocols ensured that any equipment worn had to be safe for both the wearer and their opponents. That's such a big gap in time, like 1933.
So I'm gonna read it. Okay, I kept it out because I literally kept crying trying to like look into it. But okay, so the gap from 1933 to 1979. So in 1968, Bill Masterson suffered a fatal head injury during a game. This tragedy really prompted heavier discussions about player safety and the need for helmets because at that point they were optional. So only some players wore them. And it got to the point to where only if you were a player wearing a helmet, you would get traded because they were just like, okay, like he's too high maintenance. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he suffered a fatal head injury during the game. If you are brave enough to look that up and aren't as emotional as me, go for it. But I was crying reading it because it was really sad because it took 11 years for them to finally like actually, make it like an actual rule because they tried, but the NHL kept denying it.
That just, I guess, is kind of telling of that time period versus now where the Adam Johnson stuff happened 2 days ago, and already the, European Ice Association is mandating neck guards, I think it's not only just people being really upset and demanding for it, is that the league itself is understanding that you have to keep your players, like you're essentially responsible for their safety and mandating things like that. People can do it on their own, sure, but until you mandate it, they're not going to really do it. So I don't know. I just think, oh, go
I
ahead.
also think
Sorry.
No, sorry. I also think it's important that to mandate things that are because like you got to make good equipment. Like equipment has to be made well for your players to even want to. Because it looks like before the introduction of helmets came to be, like there was resistance from players. Like they didn't want to wear them because they just like weren't comfortable. Some players did want to wear them because they felt safer and more protected, and it ended up increasing physicality on the ice. It wasn't until later on that they're like, okay, even to adults, you guys all need helmets.
Yeah, definitely the comfortability of equipment obviously needs to be there because otherwise they're just going to be pissed about it. I'm really curious about what the helmets look like that they wear on the ice and how, I guess, protected and stuff. Obviously, it's probably not like a bike helmet or something you can just go grab off a shelf, I assume. Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what it looks like and feels like and all that stuff.
So when they added pads, players used to bundle up to stay warm, not necessarily to protect themselves, and which made them susceptible to injuries such as broken bones, cuts, etc. In the 1920s, players began wearing makeshift pads, which, like we said, from leather, and over time, the pads became more and more advanced, incorporating materials such as plastic, fiberglass, and foam. And today, hockey pads come in lots of shapes and sizes for shins, shoulders, elbow, and girdle pads. Yeah, they are pretty protected. I have a history of working in safety, so like literally like my brain always goes to like, okay, how are they being safe out there? Because this is crazy. Like I know we like to see them fight, but fight safely.
As long as the helmet doesn't fall off, that's what really gets me. Like head injuries are just so unpredictable and could go any way, and it could go really, really bad really quick. And that just makes me super nervous whenever either a helmet falls off or their head hits the ice. It's just, yeah, not something I ever really want to see, even if I don't like your team.
Yeah, it's scary.
But as far as pucks go, history of them and how they've kind of changed, they've been made of different variations such as wood, rubber, and even cow manure. Today, hockey pucks are made of a variety of materials, including rubber, plastic, and other synthetic materials to limit the amount of bounce and increase durability. They're a lot heavier than what I thought they were. Yeah, I was expecting to be like $10, but it's $20, and I understood why it's $20 because it's so like hefty.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's just like it's got a lot of weight to it. It's maybe like 2 or 3 pounds, and it's nice.
Oh, wow. Well, damn, that kind of explains too, like when they're flying at like 90 miles per hour towards someone's face.
Right? Not safe.
And then, has there been any recent discussions about additional protective equipment in hockey? Obviously. So, in recent years, there has been discussions about the introduction of additional equipment, such as mandatory full face shields. I know I saw wrist guards, obviously now neck guards. However, these discussions are still ongoing, and no definitive changes have been made or seem to be like changing anytime soon, but with recent events, we'll see how the conversation changes. I do want to say that I kind of picked from 3 different sources on all of this. So if you kind of want to look up something even more specific, probably in there that I left out, I went on to filson.com, therinklive.com, and freshgear.com.
I think that's all we've got today. Obviously, the conversation about Adam Johnson is a big one and definitely something that I think we're all going to be thinking about for quite a while. But yeah, I think that's all we've got for you guys. Arielle, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Arielle Garcia, ITSARIELLE, and then on Twitter at Arielle Garcia. You, Ashley?
If you so choose to follow me on the internet, it's AENEWBY. And then also give all of our socials a follow at Rink Rookie Pod. We're over on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Tumblr, all these places if you need us. And we will see you guys next time.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye.